everybody, welcome back or welcome to the channel in general if you're new. I'm looking at some Cobra wedges. They're the Cobra King MIM wedges. They have some very funky milling on the face that goes around, much similar to the drivers. I've hit a few shots so far with 58 and 54 and I'm just getting some data on the shafts basically. So we've got KBS Tour S+. What I'm looking to do is put some KBS C-taper shafts in the clubs, but I'm going to use longer clubs, longer 9/8 and 7/9 shafts and cut them down to wedge length. Effectively it's tiger stepping. I'm going to see what the difference in performance is for those shafts. What I predict is lower launch, higher spin, but I want to do it myself just to see what's going on. So we've got 50, 54, 58, so I need to hit the 50 degree still. I've got a fresh Cleveland Z-Star out the box, so I'll do that again once I've changed the shafts as well. I'm quite a good test subject for this because I'm relatively consistent in terms of my numbers on a launch monitor. So the chap that owns these wedges, we're just struggling a little bit with the ball launching a bit too high. So what I'm interested to see mainly is the launch characteristics, so the launch angle and the spin rate, to see how they marry up. We've got them at standard length. We've got the KBS Tour Stiff Plus, and these are the same shafts in the iron, so it's got the same shafts all the way through the bag. Multi-compound +4 mid-size, big chunky grips. So we've got that Cleveland Z-Star, fresh out the box. Cobra MIM wedges, 50, 54, 58. That milling on the face, just from that centre point, rounded, is pretty cool. Creating decent amount of spin for myself already. Once they are changed, these shafts are spine aligned. I did that last year. On the green. So what we've got data wise so far, 58 degree, 33 launch, and it's relatively consistent. I'm not varying too much shot to shot. Just over 11,000 spin, 30 peak height, 97 carry, and I've got these set up so they're landing on a green, so it does land softer. Go up to the 54, got 30.9 launch angle, 9,900 spin, again only varying 200, so quite consistent. 115 carry with a variance of 2 yards, peak height 35, so a little bit higher. And then go into the 50 that I've just been hitting, got 29.8 launch angle, 9,200 spin, just under, variance not too bad, 38 peak height, so it's getting higher as we go. So these are points of reference for us. 125 carry. I did hit a couple of scruffy strikes, which just brought us down to 121 twice. So a couple down to 121, so it probably would be a little bit more than that if I didn't miss-hit them, but variance 3 yards, nice and tidy. Let's go and change the shafts and come back tomorrow and see what's going on. Another point is I'm going to match the length exactly, I'm going to match the swing weight exactly, and I'm going to match the loft and lie exactly as well, just to make sure that hasn't fallen out of place during the reshaft, just to make sure all other aspects are exactly the same. Let's rebuild them, see what's going on. So I'm straight into the workshop, wet towel around here to try and keep the ferrule. Let's get the heads off. In a bucket of water. You probably can't hear that sizzle from the camera. Going to steal the grip off that, put it back on the new shaft, and we're going to do that for 3 clubs. C-tapers. So we had so much success with the wedges, we actually did the same shafts in the irons. Hi everybody, so I've hit the clubs with the new shafts. The only thing is I've had to give them back to the customer. I can't show you. However, let's have a little look at the data and the difference that we had from the KBS Tour Stiff Plus down to the C-taper 130X. So 58, 54, 50, so higher loft to lower loft. The differences that I really found were that the 58 launched much lower, and we got a similar amount of spin between the two. We got a couple more yards and the ball went lower. We didn't quite see the same changes. We got more spin with the 54, very similar launch angle. We lost 3 yards, maybe because the spin was higher, but the peak height was lower. So we got lower, same on the peak height, that's 38. We generally kept the ball down and out to the right. The chap who has them enjoyed himself so much that we've actually put C-taper 130X in the rest of his irons. So he's now got that same characteristic through the whole bag, where he used to hit the ball quite left, and now the ball's holding out to the right just that little bit more and the flight's down. So we hit it high and left, we're now hitting it lower and further right. With the irons, we've had a little spike in distance, I think because the shaft keeps up with him, but he does hit the ball quite hard, and it is quite a harsh shaft. So for me, I think I lost spin here, I think because my striking wasn't as good, and I felt like it was a little bit harder work to get the C-taper to keep up with me because I'm not quite as strong as the chap that has them. Yardage wise, we're looking 2 yards up, 3 yards down, 2 yards up. So there or thereabouts. Spin wise, we're down, we're up, we're the same. And launch angle wise, we're much lower with the 58, but when we go up to the 50, the launch angle creeps up. Maybe because I was trying to work the shaft and I had to help the ball get airborne because I felt like I couldn't get it up as much. So there could be a little bit of feedback from that. Generally speaking, main things are that the ball was definitely lower and further out to the right, so harder to hit the left side of the green. I will be doing another one of these reviews regarding tiger stepping. I'm going to do it in a slightly different way. I'm just waiting for my new wedges to turn up, and then I'm going to get them put into my clubs to see what differences are before, during and after. So the change in shaft that I'm going to be doing won't be as harsh. I won't be going to something as hard and heavy as the C-taper 130X, because the C-taper 130X is probably the hardest to bend, harshest shaft out there, and that keeps the flight down, it keeps the flight out to the right because you've got more weight to drag through the ball, but you do lose, you might lose a bit of feel if you're not fast enough for that shaft. So you're not going to feel that sort of poppy feel off the middle of the face, but you're going to, when you hit it off center, the shaft isn't going to twist as much, so your off center hits will maintain a lot more speed, but you need to make sure that you can actually get that weight of shaft through the ball altogether to be able to manage it. I hope this has been helpful for you, and we will see you on the next video.